I'm broke, in debt, and can barely afford to pay for my own food. This is how much it cost me to build my software business. We're going to start with everybody's favorite, Vercel. I use Next.js, so of course the best place to deploy is on Vercel. One-click deployments, easy everything. You get previews. They handle everything for you, and it's awesome. I don't want to deal with Docker containers. I don't want to deal with K8s if I get to that scale. The best part about it is that their free tier is super generous. They charge by serverless, so like it's how much you use. It's like bandwidth, hours of execution, things like that. And I am intending to make money with this, so I don't mind moving over to the paid tier when I do. And I believe the free tier limit is so generous that once I do hit a paywall limit, by that scale I should be okay. I should be able to afford the actual pricing. For auth, I would love to roll my own auth. No, I really wouldn't. So, but I use Clerk. And Clerk's free tier also super generous. They recently upped it a few months ago to 10K users. I don't really need any of the other features that they offer because I bake it into my database. So I use Clerk for literally purely auth. I have my own user roles, and the other things that involve user interactions I mostly do through my database. But everything auth based goes through Clerk. Stripe, of course, y'all know Stripe is free per transaction. It's like 2.9% plus 30 cents per transaction. It's pretty good. If you sign up, that's something I need to do. So if you have like a startup or a small business, Microsoft and AWS have like startup programs for like founders. You don't need to be funded or anything. You don't even have to have a corporation, I think. But if you sign up for them, they give you a ton of free credits. I know AWS gives you a bunch of AWS credits, but you also get cool things like, I know the Microsoft Founders Hub gets like 25K in Stripe transactions, which is awesome because that means that you don't have to pay that 2.9% plus 30 cents up until 25K, which is awesome. So I'm going to try and apply for that this week, for both of them this week. I think one of them actually gives you Stripe Atlas, which allows you to incorporate in Delaware, which is awesome for 50% off because it costs like $500 to do Stripe Atlas, but if you get into the Microsoft Founders Hub, it's only $250. So yeah. So my next thing is my database. I loved PlanetScale, but recently they cut their free tier. I do intend to go back to them as soon as this thing gets rolling and I need to scale up. I'm switching over to PlanetScale from Railway. I'm going to like export all my data and import it all into PlanetScale because I love PlanetScale. It's awesome. But for Railway, I just host a simple MySQL database on it. And it's like $5-ish bucks. I'm on like the hobby tier. And it's really good. I have no complaints, but I'd like a more managed system and something that can give you more insight into my database and have more like protection when I'm doing so the way I do migrations, I don't do migrations. As I explained in one of the previous videos, I do like the expand and contract method where like you expand your schema, you make the changes in the application, then you delete the columns in order to make like blocking changes. So that's what I do with Railway. But with PlanetScale, you have like safe migrations to where if you make a change and it breaks like your whole database, you have like 30 minutes to revert it to the old one, which is awesome. So yeah. And finally, Sockety. I haven't gotten to this point yet, but I'm getting really close. That's what I use for my WebSockets. So I could use a normal like WebSocket solution, or I can go with like pusher channels. I love pusher channels. I use them. I went down the path of like first I implemented my own WebSockets, and then I went with a managed solution, and then I stumbled across pusher channels. Pusher channels are awesome. They make handling WebSockets so easy to do. So, but the thing is that the actual traditional pusher channels are really expensive. Their free tier is not that great, but the open source alternative is Sockety, and you can literally like deploy it on any Docker hosting service. You can even deploy on Railway. But what I do is I do their like serverless WebSocket. I don't really know how that works, but like, they just make it work. You just literally log into Cloudflare, pay for some stuff, and then it works, and then you just connect to it, and it's awesome. I have serverless WebSockets through Cloudflare Workers, I think. That's how much all my services for my software business costs. For my UI, I just use Shad UI, and then I just like do a little bit of Tailwind magic with it, so that's free. But I'm really bad with UI, so I really wanna. That's probably gonna be like one of my first like real hires is like a UI engineer and or like like a real full stack engineer. But yeah, okay. So back to the progress this weekend. It was my anniversary, so I didn't really get much done. But today I got like 8 to 10 hours of work done. And the funny thing is, the feature that I was implementing was like 80% hard thinking. Like all great programmers, when you're thinking really hard, you're basically just like this the whole time, or like head on the desk thinking. Like I was like thinking through the solution and thinking and thinking, and then once I like incrementally got rolling, I realized, oh, this piece goes here, this piece goes here, things like that. But let me show y'all. So in powerlifting meets, they're separated by different days, so you can have multiple days which can have multiple sessions, like a morning session or afternoon session. Each session can have multiple platforms, so like if you have like a big meet, you'll have like more than one platform, and which each platform can have multiple flights. So you need the meet board to show like, oh, this platform, you should to show like the schedule of each platform. So like this is like a test platform, and you can see that it has 2 flights in it. And how it works is each lifter does their lift. So like there's 3 squat attempts. So you go squat 1, squat 2, squat 3. They're sorted by ascending lift attempts. So like you can see here, 110 goes first, 130 goes second, 150 goes third. And that like reorganization happens within every attempt. So squat 1 is organized like that, squat 2 is organized like that, and squat 3 is organized like that. Even if Olivia starts with 110, her second attempt could be like 170, and Sarah's second attempt could be like 150, and then Sarah would be going first on like the second attempts. So it needs to be able to dynamically organize like that. And another thing is, within each platform, you can have multiple flights, and the flights have to finish before going on to like the next big lift. So like flight 1's squat will go, and then flight 2's squat will go, and then flight 3's squat will go. And then once all the flights within the platform are done, then we go to the next lift, which is bench, and it goes like that until the end. So I had to think really hard on how these interactions work. And it has like, there's a lot of crisscross interaction between the people actually entering the, like if the lift is good or not, and the actual outcome / organization of the table. So I had to think really hard through it, and this is what I came up with. It actually works. So you can see here, we're waiting for Sarah to squat 130, and if I make her squat 130 and it's good, and then we refresh this, so it's good, and it'll go on to the next one, which is Hannah. So as of right now, it's not interactive. That's when I have to like put in the WebSocket stuff. And another thing is that in powerlifting meets, there's 3 judges, and each of them have to submit their like judge of your attempt, like if it's good or not, if you like perform the lift to the standard. So my system has to take the input from 3 judges. Once all 3 judges' input are in, then we can calculate the attempt and then move on to the next lifter. Since I have the logic in place to like do that, it won't be hard to do that. It's just I have to actually implement it. I'm glad I got like the bulk of the logic done, because all the rest should flow. And getting like the WebSockets to like interact will be fun as well. I don't know why, but I really like WebSockets because it makes your app feel just like so smooth. Because like, I don't know, real-time interaction, it feels like so fast. As for like the marketing side of things, I had the meet directors who I emailed, who I made like that video, that like short video a few videos ago, I emailed them that, and they actually got back. They said they'd discuss it and schedule a meeting. And I reached out to like a co-director. It's basically under the same federation as who I emailed. And they were like, oh, did you get our email? And I was like, yeah, I did. And they were like, okay, then we're looking forward to discussing with you. So yeah, I'm really excited to meet with them. And hopefully I can pitch it to them, because the idea is that I just need one. I just need to do one meet. And after one meet converts, I can use that in order to sell to all the other meets and convert the entire system. But yeah. Also, we have another banger short coming out. I don't know if I mentioned that last video, but we have another banger short coming out. If you enjoyed, drop a like down below and subscribe. We're getting closer and closer to 1,000 subs. My videos do really weird, so I don't really know like what makes them good or not, but I hope that y'all enjoy. I try to respond to comments as fast as I can, and I really enjoy seeing the feedback from y'all. So yeah, keep her coming. All right, I'll see you in the next one.